Welcome to the final...
Another 4 years yet.
You were listening... Fucking hell. What is going on? How do we normally start these?
I don't know. I know that we're not recording it on the day we normally are. We're recording it on the day that we'd normally record a different podcast that we no longer do. And it's a very different vibe, so it's very confusing.
It's very difficult.
Today,
Thursdays are different, aren't they?
They are different.
This is Two Grown Men.
Do you know, I thought you'd gone into full drive time FM disc jockey mode. Then you're listening to Two Grown Men, and with the time coming up to 5:30, it's time to check out the news and weather.
I am having enough trouble doing my own voice at the moment. I can't do drive. Every time I try and do a voice, it's just embarrassing. And I normally cut it from the episode. The episode...
Oh, thank you to Doris there for telling us about her feelings after her dog died. Here's the Spice Girls. That sort of thing, isn't it? I faded them up as well.
You did,
I faded them up.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. The listener won't realise these episodes normally are around an hour long. We actually record for about 2 hours. There's lots of improv.
2 years.
All of James's stays in.
Yeah.
I cut every single voice. I do as many voices as James does.
More.
I cut them all. Yeah. It's just embarrassing.
It is. I mean, they're all quite nasal and drony, though.
They all sound a little bit like Marvin the Paranoid Android.
Uncannily.
So anyway... we are recording this on a Thursday. We normally record it on a Monday. This is because James is going away on holiday. Nothing drastic is happening to Two Grown Men.
I'm going to Devon.
We haven't just decided we're going to kill all podcasts. That isn't what's happening.
I'm going away for 10 days.
He is. He's going away for 10 days, and God willing, he'll be back with us in a couple of weeks.
I get all jumpy before long car journeys.
But I said a couple of weeks. By the time you listen to this, see, this is this time travel thing. We've talked about this on podcast recordings before. We are recording this on Thursday. You're not going to listen to it till Monday.
Or Tuesday.
Anytime after.
Yeah, when you get round to it. I'll be on holiday.
James will be on holiday. He'll be listening to this, and it will have happened in the past, and he'll be like, well, these two guys are really sassy. Yeah. One of them's quite spunky. The other one sounds a bit morose and stammers a little bit. But I like what they... No, that's me. I'm the morose.
Sorry.
But I like the cuts of their jibs.
I like a nice jib.
Have we been doing this podcasting thing with each other for long enough that you could say that we have a collective jib that has an equal cut to it?
Yeah, I think you and I have a single cut jib. Single jib cut, I don't know.
I need to write these down so that I can basically the way to just to let the listener and James in on a little bit of inside baseball. When I'm editing these at night, I don't come up with the name of the episode until I've listened to the whole thing, and I pick out something that I say that's hilarious so that it sounds like I'm always the one who says the hilarious thing. So I have to listen to the whole thing, and I really do wish I could just note stuff down as we go.
If only there was a method for you to
make notes.
I watched last night. I'm doing a little bit of our weeks from the other podcast we used to.
It's Thursday. It's confusing.
Yeah, I watched last night. I watched an episode of the Great British Bake Off. I don't know if you watch it.
It will have been last week for you listener, but I haven't been watching this series, but I do like it a little bit.
And maybe I got almost no sleep last night. I woke up at 2:00, couldn't get back to sleep. By 3:30, I was up and I was baking bread. So I woke my wife up this morning with a cup of coffee about 7:00.
You worked your wife up?
No, I woke my wife. No, I can't do that, unfortunately, because I'm an odorous old man that couldn't turn on. What's something that's typically very early, easy to turn on?
A puppy.
A depressed middle-aged man.
Maybe not a puppy.
So I took another cup of coffee at 7:00, and we had some freshly baked bread. That was very nice. But yeah, I woke at 2 this morning basically, and that was it. And I don't really know what fucking planet I'm on today.
Earth.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't get the option to go to other ones, do I?
You were on Planet Podcast.
Anyway, I was watching Great British Bake Off.
Yes.
I was fishing about because I'd kind of forgotten where I was going, and it was bread week. And this lady that was a contestant that's on it had made these little plant pots and put flavoured bread in it. And I think from Paul Hollywood's reaction to it, I can tell that I think Paul Hollywood is a circumcised male.
Oh.
Because they had quite a large rim around the top, so they were sort of like there was a small stubby shaft of the bread, and then a slightly more bulbous muffiny bit at the top that had kind of a ridge around it. Paul Hollywood took great offence to the ridge, took a knife to it, and said, "There, it looked much better without that." And I think subconsciously, Paul Hollywood was showing that he has a favour for a cut cock rather than a fully sheathed member.
So what we're relying on is that he had the same reaction when he saw that thing to the reaction you had, because you obviously saw the same thing. You looked at it and thought, that looks a bit like a penis.
Well, it did. Anything that's got even a small stubby shaft and a mushroomy bulbous bit on top looks like a cock, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't it?
So anyway, listener, if you're a new listener to the podcast because maybe people have got excited because it's our 1 year birthday, and you're thinking, oh, I might listen to this 1 year birthday episode that everyone online has been talking about. That's a listener. That's my listener who is one of the listeners who listens to it as soon as it comes out because you love us. That's me asking you to share us with as many people as you know. But yeah, so if you're
expecting me to say something, then
no,
you look really
that was a gap for the listener.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you're a new listener who's just come to us because it's our birthday episode and you thought it might be quite exciting, yes, that is pretty much the sort of stuff we talk about all the time. Your T-shirt looks a bit like a cock.
It's a T-shirt by the Imaginary Foundation, and it's a bowler hat with a pair of legs underneath it. Atop the bowler hat are a number of surveillance cameras, and the legend underneath this image says, "Avoid the paranoid."
You see, I'm looking at it, and to me, the legs look, because they're quite fleshy, look like a shaft. The bowler hat looks like a
cap,
top of a penis.
Helmet, I believe.
Yeah,
some people call it.
And because it's got a little hole, and I couldn't tell that those were surveillance cameras, it just looks like something spiky is gushing out the top of it.
Oh, don't. I once accidentally stumbled across Shovey Downey porn, and
urethra porn.
You can't fucking unsee that, can you?
No, I don't think you can. So yeah, happy birthday to Two Grown Men.
Yay!
It's we've been doing this for a year.
Yes.
Literally, well, actually, yes. By the time the listener, I'll stop being preoccupied by the time thing. Shall I do that? Because it's boring, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, a whole year. It's exciting.
A lot of people, scientists, they don't think time isn't linear, is it?
No.
You know, it's a dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only really us that experience it in a linear fashion. So, I mean, what's the point? You know, we've already had this anniversary and we'll continue having it ad infinitum. It is a finite point in time.
Yes.
Yay! So I didn't get the job, Nick. If you listened last week, I went for a job interview and I didn't get it. But I still feel very upbeat. I gave good interview, Nick. I prepped very hard, gave a very good presentation, gave a very good hour-and-a-half interview, knew my stuff. I was complimented by the person who interviewed me. Said one of the questions I answered, she'd never had someone answer it so comprehensively and well. Mm-hmm. And the person who got the job is the one person I hoped hadn't applied for it, because I have a great deal of professional respect for them and think they thoroughly deserve it. So,
are they basically exactly the same as you, but also gorgeous?
No, she's much better than I am, I think, at the job. She's someone I've learnt a great deal off over the years of my own job, so I have to be sort of slightly sanguine about her getting it, because, frankly, had I been in the position of the person who was making the decisions, I, too, would have made the same decision.
Can you go for her job, though?
I would rather eat glass for breakfast, lunch and dinner every day for the rest of my life than work in the organisation she's just left, which may be behind her leaving it in the first place, I think. But I felt very positive. I've kind of thrown myself into... I kind of feel like I was at a bit of a crossroads last week, if you don't mind me being a bit
Right.
self-indulgent.
It's fine.
I was at a crossroads where I think I either had to really commit myself to the career or allow myself to sort of define myself in a different way, maybe. And I was sat there after I got the news on the Wednesday morning, and I actually thought, well, do you know what I like doing most? Work's all right, and I'm accidentally good at it. And I think I am, and I was quite unlucky, I think, not to get the
You
job.
gave the most comprehensive answer she's ever had.
Well, on one aspect, it's not the whole thing. I thought, I don't have to define myself by a job title. The thing I love doing most is making podcasts and that sort of thing. So I feel quite committed. I'd have had to give up weekly podcasting probably had I got the job.
I didn't really want you to get it.
No.
But I was doing a good job of convincing you that I did.
That's very nice. And there was part of me that was worried about the things I'd have to give up, but I had to apply for it. It's one of those jobs that I do a role that's relatively niche. The jobs don't come up very often, and I'd be a bit of a mug not to have applied for it had I not, and I'd have regretted it. So ultimately I come out of it with no real regrets and sort of feeling more positive about the thing I do for a hobby. So
that's good. You do seem... you've contacted me a lot. It's been really nice. You do... I mean, this is supposed to be my semi-holiday from podcasting for a little while, but no, it's good. I've enjoyed it. It's good. I've liked seeing you so upbeat. You do seem very upbeat. You seem very positive today. How much sleep did you get last night, though?
Oh, about 3 hours.
So, Nicola's keeping an eye on you, right?
Really?
No, I mean in terms of making sure you're okay
I don't know what you mean.
at home.
What?
She's like...
Who's watching me? Why are they watching me, Nick?
Nicola's keeping an eye for you trailing off in the middle of sentences that are really upbeat about stuff you really care about and just staring into space for 5 minutes and stuff like that.
That wouldn't be an unusual... I'm actually...
Finding you at 5 a.m. in your pants in the middle of the garden.
You should talk to Jane. I am notorious for just leaving sentences completely unfinished. I don't know how often I do it on podcasts, but it drives Jane nuts.
You never do it on podcasts.
Okay.
You actually never do it on podcasts, and I do that when I'm talking to Amy quite a lot, the trailing off. A lot of the time, though, it's just that the person who's getting wound up about it isn't giving you enough time to collect your thoughts for the next bit of the sentence.
Sometimes I once had a very annoying colleague who could not let me, because I will think about what I'm going to say if I'm talking like something complicated.
People don't know how to do that.
Oh, every single sentence. I got into a habit of just letting her say it and then contradicting. Even if she finished the sentence in the way that I might have done so, I'd find a way to contradict the way she'd ended it, just to try and play with her.
I hate it because it's something I was going to say, so I feel like I have ownership of what I was going to say and the thought process behind it. But then I feel guilty
because
about
I like to
correcting
shoot
someone.
Elephants. Oh,
Eh?
I was having to go ending your sentence.
No, I don't shoot elephants.
That's why you feel guilty.
I'd slice their throats.
Yeah, too right.
Sneak up behind them. They're pretty easy to sneak up behind.
Jump on their backs, lift up their trunk and slash the bastard's throats.
I'm really sorry if that's true.
Take that, you tusky bastard.
So, yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. I probably wasn't going to say anything.
You're going to say congratulations on giving a really good answer.
Congratulations on giving a really good answer. James.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve you.
Maybe not. It's a weight off anyway.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you finally noticed you've got a fucking great big shed at the bottom of your garden that might be put to some productive use.
We need some investment. I tell you what, yesterday was productive, yesterday morning. Not only did I bake bread, but I watched a really fascinating documentary about John Denver. Very interesting.
What did you learn about John Denver?
I didn't realise how big a star he was in the 70s. Because his star had waned by the time I had reached awareness, really.
Waned. My main John Denver thing is there's a lesser-known Studio Ghibli film, Miyazaki film, a lot of which centres around some Japanese schoolgirls trying to translate translate and redub the lyrics to. I guess it's like a hobby that some people have. Either just some young people have all over the world, or that specifically Japanese girls or children in countries where, because obviously most of the most popular music comes from English-speaking countries, mainly America. I guess.
Best, I think, is the word you.
Best, okay. And so they're basically they're trying to translate it in a way that still makes sense, that can still be sung in along with the music, but that still makes sense. And they're trying to work out interpretations of it, and it's really interesting. And it's in the soundtrack. "Take Me Home, Country Road" is in the soundtrack quite a lot, and I do love that song.
He didn't write it.
I don't know. Did he write any of his songs?
Yes.
But he didn't write "Take Me Home."
I forget the two. There was a country duo that wrote it, and he jammed with them and really liked the song, and he made it famous along with them. But I didn't realise one of his most identifiable songs wasn't his, even though he's quite a prolific songwriter.
I think that probably happens quite a lot. I love it.
Certainly in the 60s. Certainly in the 60s, there was a lot of cross-pollination of, Dylan would write a song and half a dozen artists would record it. There was all that sort of, it's quite incestuous cross-pollination of songs and so forth, especially in the folk scene.
Huey Lewis and the News and Bruce Hornsby and the Range.
Absolutely. And Jennifer Rush.
Huey Lewis and Bruce Hornsby are friends. They wrote songs for each other.
And then Jennifer Rush just nicked song titles from them.
Jennifer Rush. Well, to be fair to her, it's difficult to know who stole the name "The Power of Love" because there are so many songs called that.
I don't know why, and I'm sure we're retreading old ground here, but I don't know why. But at the time, 2 songs in the top 10 called "The Power of Love" felt significant.
It does.
But I don't know why.
I know it's weird. It's like when you look at the charts from decades past, and you've got the same act in the top 20 at the same, like 2 songs from the same act in the charts at the same time, and that feels weird as well.
How old were you when you realised that music probably wasn't going to change the world?
I don't think I've ever really thought that anything was going to change the world.
Oh, I really got... I don't know whether I was at the right age when the Berlin Wall came down, but I really got caught up in that sort of whole let's take ecstasy and dance because it had changed the world kind of thing. Like it was some sort of revolution that was happening. I did
have high hopes for Jesus Jones.
Yeah, and then EMF came and stole their thunder, didn't they?
Right Here, Right Now, I really did think was a song that could endlessly be used to be the soundtrack anthem to historical occasions like the Berlin Wall coming down and stuff like that.
I actually,
September 11th.
I actually thought that Where Angels Play by the Stone Roses was going to bring about the second coming of Christ.
I was pretty sure that Ecstasy Motherfuckers was
shortened to
going to
EMF.
do the trick. Yeah, no, I think that's actually one of the songs.
It's the last song on Schubert Dip.
What's their famous one, though? They had a single.
Unbelievable.
They were basically like East 17, though, but doing indie rock, weren't they?
Yeah, a bit cooler. And From the Forest of Dean.
Did one of East 17 really run himself over?
He did, yeah. It's an unfortunate and tragic story. You laugh, mate, but, it's funny the things that depression will do to you. It's not funny.
Was he depressed?
Probably. His fucking car ran over him, mate. He's not going to be happy, is he?
I have to admit, if you're like a bit of a boy racer or something, because you literally, everyone thinks, oh, look at that twat with his souped up car, but what they don't understand is literally you're pouring all of your money and heart and soul into your car because it's the only thing you really feel understands you, and it's the only way that you feel that you can outrun the stresses of your life and the pressures, and but you can't outrun them. You can't, but you try in your car. You're on the motorway. You're going over 100 miles per hour. You maybe go out to the Forest of Dean. Is that where it happened?
I don't know. I don't know. E17 and EMF are 2 different things, mate.
You think,
stop conflating them.
You think that your car must. I mean, it's an inanimate object, but you're in E17, so you maybe don't understand about inanimate objects.
So it's fly, it's de-seamed and lowered.
Yeah, so it must love you as much as you love it. Not like all those other people that you left miles behind at the other end of the motorway. Yeah. Your car must feel about you the way you feel about your car. And you go out there, you're having a peaceful moment, and then the fucker runs you over.
Like the fucking anti-Herbie.
That's got to
devastating.
be the worst betrayal.
Oh no, Ocho!
Oh, if you weren't depressed before, you're right. That is.
Yeah, too right. Poor bastard.
I don't even know how you can. Never mind.
Was he the one that brought about the fashion of wearing a long Dr. Zeus-like hat on your head? Or was that just Dappy? I forget.
I can't remember who was Dappy. Dappy was one of So Solid, wasn't he?
I don't fucking know, but I know he likes to wear hats on his head that makes him look like a Dr. Zeus character, which I find delightful.
I really hope the guy from East 17 didn't die, did he?
Well, he's going to, but no, not after that incident.
Oh, thank goodness.
Mm.
I had far too much fun. It'd be awful if something bad happened. I mean, aside from getting run over by yourself.
Yeah.
Time's moving on. It is... I can't see the clock.
He's gone black, which is appropriate.
We've got 8 minutes.
Oh, shit,
9
Colin,
minutes.
you better hurry up. You've got big news, man.
So what else have we got to talk about other than the big news?
That's it. Let's talk about your
That's
big
it.
news.
Amy and I are having another baby.
Yeah, well done. Well done. I'm very pleased for you. Genuinely.
You seem to be hurrying things along.
No, well, it's good.
It's exciting. We've known for a little while. We did the first 2 pregnancy tests Amy did. Yeah. They were a bit inconclusive. The line was a little bit blurred, and we couldn't really remember what the line was supposed to be.
Had you bought Robin Thicke brand tests?
Maybe that's what blurred lines is about. Yeah. I don't know. So ultimately, I insisted that Amy get one that actually said pregnant or didn't have anything on it.
You know you want it, in brackets, a baby, that is.
So yes, there are a few wags on the internet, and I really do actually appreciate the joke who, because I posted a picture of the pregnancy test, wanted to clarify that it wasn't my wee that had produced that result.
We were in a conversation at one point where it looked like
we were having
a conversation with the individual who they're based down in Bournemouth.
Yes, Sam Shepherd, who is a journalist in Bournemouth.
It felt like, because we were both in, it felt like you and I were a couple not being congratulated by her, which is a bit odd.
In a lot of ways. I mean, this is episode 52. It's the year birthday of this show, and we're announcing
our love for each other.
A new baby.
Yeah, it's good. I am really impressed because I think, as I said to you previously, with the antidepressants I'm on, I have retarded ejaculation. Therefore, anyone who can do a good, reliable cum, I think is a hero.
Can you use another word? Is retarded really appropriate?
It would, yes.
Is medically appropriate?
Yes.
Okay.
It's exactly. It's the appropriate way to use that word. It's not. I'm not saying that my penis has mental disabilities, and I'm using that word in a way to denigrate individuals.
Okay, I just wanted to check
those conditions.
So anyway,
some words I know the meaning of. Can we just track back 11 weeks? I could have done this on a podcast. Whenabouts was it that you went to that hotel with Amy? Because I remember at the time, I'm sure it was around 11 weeks ago.
Was it for my birthday?
Around then.
We went, that would have been around the week of June. I don't think it was actually on my birthday, but it was around the weekend of June the 7th.
How many weeks ago is that?
We're in the end of August.
Yeah.
Nearly middle to end of August. June, July.
Around 11 weeks.
Yeah. Oh.
So basically, we could track it back to you sexed Amy up on that weekend in the hotel, which is brilliant. It's good to know. I know almost with pinpoint accuracy the lovemaking session with my wife that created Scarlett. Mm-hmm. I could tell Scarlett positions, location, all sorts. It's brilliant. Best of it is, the room that it happened in is now her bedroom. There's some synchronicity.
And that used to be your studio. That's where we used to record the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Was it after a podcast?
Yep. And
you do get really sexed up during podcasts.
I do. I've got a hard on right now. It's quite frustrating. But I remember at the time you talking about going to the hotel and you were getting really upset with people being all, you're going to have sex, you're going to have sex. Not only did you have sex, you did a sex that did a baby.
Amy will almost definitely be able to confirm or deny exactly when, because she's been keeping track of. Because we have been trying. This was deliberate. She's been keeping closer track of that. But that wasn't why we went to the hotel. We went to the hotel because we like it. We do have sex outside of hotels.
Yeah, but hotel sex is different from not hotel sex.
I was going to say, when you said you could tell Scarlett positions if she wanted to know, Noah was conceived in Jersey at the wedding of our friends. Not at the wedding, but over the weekend of the wedding.
Congratulations! Just a moment while I finish off.
That our friends when our friends Dommy and Jamie got married.
All right.
And I probably couldn't tell you positions because we tried a few. We did a lot of sex in Jersey.
Nice. It
was romantic.
That's pretty much all there is to do in Jersey, though, to be fair.
There was a swimming pool though at the hotel. We liked that. We didn't do sex in the swimming pool, but we like a hotel. That's all.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not berating it. It was just the way you complained so much at the time. But congratulations.
I don't think it can have been then. Maybe it was. I don't know. It's
very hot on the heels of Noah. I think you're very brave.
It's kind of deliberate.
You're aware of your age, I assume, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very aware of my age, and I mean, part of it is that, and part of it is that it took us a while to get pregnant with Noah. So we started trying from the point at which the earliest that we would think it was okay to get pregnant again, the earliest gap.
I'm resisting the temptation to be crude.
So there are so many different opportunities to get crude about this. I don't even. That's why I went quiet then. I honestly don't know what you were talking about.
No.
But so there was that. The due date is March 10th, which is
not long. It's around my birthday. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting.
They're not going to have to be that early to share a birthday with me. I would like that very much.
They're both going to be the oldest. They're both going to be younger in their school years, though. They're going to be a school year apart, and I was a June baby, so we've been talking a little bit this week about what it's like being small. Luckily, Noah looks like he's going to be quite tall, maybe. But being small and also one of the younger people in your year can be pretty hard work. So, but I mean, it's not that bad. They'll be okay. It's silly to worry about that, isn't it?
Yes,
where's Scarlett in the year?
Which really, she's going to be one of the youngest. She's her birthday is in July.
It's only a few weeks ago. Isn't it?
Do you know what I hate about June and July? Because they butt right up against each other and they look very similar. I always get confused. My wedding anniversary is in June. My daughter's birthday is in July. That's the easy way to remember it.
Our anniversary of meeting, well, not of starting going out, is in July, I think.
What, you
but
and
I
me,
get
or?
confused. No, Amy and I. But it's confusing. I feel like your marriage sort of trumps the anniversary of your meeting, and your baby being born becomes the most important date you need to worry about after a point.
Nikki and I were quite fortunate because we'd been together for so long that the date that we considered our anniversary when we were going out with each other is the date we got married on, which also happened to be the summer solstice, which is nice bit of synchronicity going on there.
Is there anything I've forgotten? Because we're men and we don't know what weight it is yet because it's a baby.
It hasn't grown.
It's a good length.
It must be.
The lady doing the scan was nice enough, but I guess she doesn't know our history. So she was the first time we had the scan with Noah. The lady she put the screen away from us until she found a heartbeat.
Of course.
Whereas this one had a bit of trouble finding a heartbeat and talked us through having a bit of trouble finding a heartbeat, which made the rest of the experience a little bit stressful for Amy.
Do you have the stats though? As I understand it, after you've had a successful pregnancy, the likelihood of miscarriage is significantly reduced. As I understand it,
is that right?
Apparently so.
That's good to know.
I don't actually have the hard date at hand, which is...
well, I really wish you hadn't said it now.
Well, maybe you could do some fact-checking and put it in the show notes or something. I don't know.
So it's very exciting. We are very excited. It's going to be interesting having two children in the house, and that does make the whole moving thing a little bit more urgent. But it's good. It's good news. I think it's good news.
Congratulations. We're all very happy for you. I speak on behalf of the listener.
Thank you. You can, obviously, we should still do a tiny bit of admin. We are about to finish. But you can listen to all of our previous episodes at 2 grownmen.net. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher and all the usual places. There's our alarm.
That's it. That's the end of the show. Bye. No.
No, it's about right, isn't it? You can talk to us on Twitter. I'm Nick Sight. James is?
James MOMB.
And you can email us at 2gmpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right.
We have had some very nice emails from people, specifically our friend Peter and our friend Matt. That sounds really weird. They're our friends through podcasting. We earned them through podcasting. They're not just friends of ours that we got listening to our podcasts.
Through our blood, sweat and tears.
But obviously we do love getting any sort of feedback from you listeners, so please do that. There's loads of stuff we've forgotten, but we've got to record another show now, so we're going to go now. Bye-bye.
Bye.